So which came first, the chicken or the egg, right? It's an age-old question, and the same kind of principle holds true with Facebook advertising. It's very easy to get new clients once you have testimonials, but it's hard to get your first testimonial when you don't have testimonials to show that first client to become a testimonial, right? And so the way that we actually are going to solve this is a two-pronged approach. The first way is what I like to call the family approach, right? So some of us probably have some family or friends or extended family members, or maybe your spouse has, friends or family who kind of own their own small business. And if they own their own small business, then we can use, our unbelievable newfound skill and value as a Facebook advertising expert to help their small business, guys. And so what we're going to do is we're going to offer to run them completely free marketing campaigns. And this does a couple of things. It gives us practice, right? It gets our kind of wheels and cogs turning. The more practice that we have with the Facebook ad platform, the more practice that we have, creating advertisements, getting in the advertising mindset, kind of going about, now that we know where to find advertisers, where to find experts in advertising, where to find example ads, all of these types of, different ways to get inspiration. We know how to make ads. We know how to run ads. We know how to target people. And so what we're going to do is we're going to add a ton of value to our family or friends, and we're going to do it completely for free. So who is going to say no that already knows you already have a relationship with, saying, hey, Jim, I know we've been friends for 10 years. How about I run some completely free ads for you and get you a bunch of free new business and profit for your business, and completely no strings attached, right? So no one's going to say no to that. And so all you have to tell them is, hey, so if I'm going to run these free ads for you, I'm even going to pay for, $100 of the ad spend myself. Two things can happen. The first thing that happens is, everything goes smoothly. You get them, a couple new leads or business, or you get them a couple new leads or profit for their business or new customers and things like that. And, that's where it ends. And you say, hey, is there any way I can get a testimonial of, the value that I added, the new business that I got you, X, Y, Z. Or, the advertising campaign that you give them performs so well that they actually do become your first paying client, and you're literally adding more value than the amount that they're paying for your monthly retainer. And that happens all the time, right? And it starts out as just kind of a family favor of them giving you a testimonial, and then they see actually how ridiculously powerful Facebook advertising is, and then they actually become your first customer. But either way, guys, you're going to get an amazing testimonial from the family approach. And whether you decide to use the family or freemium approach, I recommend doing kind of a mock sign up with a family member. We've mentioned this briefly before, but signing someone up for Business Manager, whether you're using your own Business Manager and you're running ads from your own Business Manager, you still have to have them add you as an admin on their Facebook page, right? Doing a mock sign up just gets you used to that, the type of processes. It gets you used to the Facebook platform. It gets you used to Business Manager. It gets you used to the admin settings on a Facebook page and things like that. It's going to help you kind of get out of that growing pain, especially if you're walking them through creating their own Business Manager, because they have to create their own Business Manager. They have to link their, Facebook. They have to claim their Facebook page. They have to create their own ad account, right? They have to create a pixel. All of these kinds of growing pains that if you've never done it before, you don't want to do it live with, a real kind of local business out there who you don't have a pre-existing relationship with. So always, 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 always do a mock sign up with a family member, even if you aren't going to use them for a testimonial, right? Go out and, sign up your grandma or your brother or your younger sister or whatever it is, and pretend like they are a local business, and sign them up with their own Business Manager, walk them through it, literally sharing a video on Skype or on Google Hangouts or whatever it is, and then sign them up as if they're going to use your Business Manager, where they actually give you admin access to their page, and you add that page to your Business Manager so that you can actually run ads on your own Business Manager from their page, right? And we talked about how to sign up, how to do both of those things, either using their Business Manager where they pay for the ads and it's their, Facebook page from their Business Manager, or your Business Manager where you actually are added as an admin to their Facebook page and you run ads from your Business Manager, and you pay for the ads and they reimburse you. Right? And so always, always, always do a mock sign up just so you're ready and you feel completely comfortable when you actually do start to get your own kind of real clients out there in the real world with local businesses. And then the freemium approach, right? So for those of us kind of like myself who are, forever alone and have no friends or family to ask for help, there is another method, right? And it's called the freemium approach. Kind of how this method works is really to kind of identify a business in the city you live that you think might be a good potential client to run Facebook ads for. And we've talked about this before, right? Get their contact information, give them a call. Let them know that you are a Facebook ad agency, right? And we're going to be completely honest here. You're just starting out. You're looking for your first client, and kind of to, in order to build some testimonials in the local business scene, say that if you've lived in Las Vegas for 20 years, say that you've lived in Las Vegas for 20 years, you're trying to become an entrepreneur, you have a lot of practice with this, you just took a course and you've learned and you feel very comfortable doing it. And, if they'd be interested, you'd be willing to, run a Facebook advertising campaign for them completely for free. And you'd even be willing to pay for the first $100 of ad spend out of your own pocket to prove to them the value of Facebook ads, and how they could actually, change their business, bring them more paying customers, and, bring a ton of extra profitability to their business. And this is pretty much a no risk scenario for them. 1 out of every 100 people might think that you're like a scammer or something weird and you can just hang up and move on to the next person. But really, you can make this clear to them, right? This is worth the weight in gold, Facebook advertising. And this method's obviously a little bit more costly because you do potentially have to spend $50 or $100 out of pocket to kind of prove to them. But if you don't have any friends or family or, extended relatives or, your spouse's friends or family or anything like that, then you can use the freemium approach. Literally say, you're just starting out as a digital marketer. You want to kind of build up your brand in Las Vegas or wherever you are in your locality. You've been a resident, maybe you were born and raised there, right? Always make it very personal and say that, you're willing to run a completely free ad campaign for them. If there's literally no risk. Who wouldn't say, if somebody came up to me and said, hey, Kevin, I want to run ads for you and I'll pay for them and you keep all of the profits, I'll say, okay, thank you, right? And I know, reading this right now, it's probably difficult to believe that people will say yes to this and that they'll pay you $1,000 a month to run ads for them, but it seriously happens every single day, guys, every single day, and people are paying so much more than $1,000 a month for this to happen. And once you are showing people value, and even if they get a single call, one call completely changes how local businesses kind of perceive this. When they really feel it and they have a tangible kind of evidence of kind of the the value that Facebook ads actually can provide them, then it really starts to everything really starts to change. And the only reason you guys wouldn't be able to capture, all of the millions and billions of dollars out there that are circulating via Facebook ads, is laziness or fear. And this is the only time that I'm going to kind of get a little bit real here. But, if the only reason that people aren't going to be able to make this work is if they're scared or too lazy to pick up the phone and try. That's the only reason. People are making this work every single day. Hundreds and hundreds of our students are making this work. And so literally the only two options are, either being too scared or too lazy, or, just sticking with it until you get your first client. Start to build your testimonials. The more testimonials you have, the easier this becomes. The more clients you have, the easier this becomes, because people start to get affiliates, and, they start to refer their friends, and their friends start to refer their friends. And all of a sudden, guys, you have more business than you can actually handle. And that's a good thing, right? Because one of our top performing students got turned down 24 straight times. Literally, he got told no 24 straight times. He called 24 local businesses and they said no to him all 24 times before he signed his first client, right? Imagine if he had given up on business number 23 that said no to him, right? And it's awful being told no on the phone. People, it just feels very personal being rejected until you realize that, it's just business. It's only, it's only a very insignificant, meaningless kind of interaction, but it feels very personal. And imagine if he had said no on business number 23, and what he's doing now, he's managing 28 local businesses who all pay him $1,000 per month. He's literally earning $28,000 per month with zero overhead, right? Other than a few pieces of software that cost, $100 a month. $28,000 or $336,000 profit per year, and he's growing fast. Imagine if he had quit on number 23. Right? Just remember, guys, have tunnel vision. You're only focus is getting your first testimonial and case study. Once you have your testimonial, it's so much easier. You can say, every time you call a business, you could say, yeah, I'd be happy to share, some of my testimonials of other local businesses who, I've run ads for. If you feel free to give them a call. I also have, some screenshots of conversations and some of the results that I was getting them, and I'd be happy to, share those with you. And when people see it with their own eyes, guys, it just becomes much more real. And the whole point of all of this is to remove friction, remove ways that they can say no or reasons that they could say no, show them real success, right? Show them real testimonials, and it's going to become so much easier, because the 99% of the difficulty of this whole thing, this whole process, is signing your first client, guys, because slow and steady wins the race. And if you never give up, you can never fail, right? And the point of this course isn't motivation. I'm not going to patronize you guys. I just want to be very clear, because there are going to be some people who give up. There are going to be some people who don't make it work. There are going to be some people, and the only people who aren't going to make it work are the ones who give up. It's just as simple as that, guys. We have hundreds and hundreds of students every single day who are making this work, and you can make it work too. Just do not give up. 99% of the battle, 99% of the struggle is getting that first client. And once you get that first client, everything becomes so much easier, guys. And so that is the family approach and the freemium approach: how to land your first client in 24 hours, how to get that, elusive, difficult first testimonial, and then how to actually, share that testimonial with all of your new potential clients. Show them the value that you added. Get somebody who's willing to go to bat for you. Show them the results that you got that first client, right? Your first client, that whether you got them from the family approach or the freemium approach, you're gonna, knock it out of the park for them, and then you're gonna absolutely use that testimonial to death until you have, new clients who are going to be willing to give you testimonials. And the more testimonials you start to accumulate, guys, the easier this gets. The more clients you get, the more referrals you get, the more referrals you get, the more referrals of referrals you get, and then you can start to charge significantly more for your monthly retainer, guys. And it just becomes bigger and bigger and more profitable as you scale. So I hope this helped, guys, and let's get to the next.